Hello, everybody. It's David Scott Peters coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona, at the world headquarters of the restaurantexpert.com. And I'm thrilled you're on today's webinar. Our YouTube live event is entitled How to Easily Set Par Levels. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about to give up what I consider some of our best stuff. Meaning, I'm about to train other competitors, consultants, people that we're going up against day to day to know how what we do that's really special of giving you the power to set par levels. It's not earth-shattering. It's not like somebody else couldn't figure this out. But I'm going to tell you right now, there aren't many who have. We consider this very much proprietary. Again, it's a simple arithmetic when we get all said and done, but there's a process that gets there, and I can't wait to share that with you. But as we wait to allow people to log on, there are a couple housekeeping things I want to go over first. The first thing is, make sure you log into your YouTube channel. Whether you use a Gmail account or whatever it may be, log into your YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to use the chat function where we can answer your questions. You can answer questions I ask. You can participate, be a part of this live event, because this is live. We are broadcasting. We could have anything go wrong at any point in time. With that said, we're hopefully not going to have any. But log into your YouTube channel, and that way you can use the chat window. Those of you who are already logged in, do me a favor. Do know that you're going to see Jenny Brooks and Greg Sauerback on my team. They're going to be monitoring that chat window. I actually can't see it. They're going to be communicating through this cell phone here through another chat window because I've already got 3 other screens. I've got 4 screens to manage. The last thing I can do is add one more piece to it. So they're going to be ones that will answer your quick questions or will get you information you need while we participate on this. But those of you who are logged in, again, to YouTube channel, do me a favor, enter in your name, your restaurant name, where you're from. So in that chat window, I'd love to get an idea of where people are calling in from, and being a part of this, I should say, because we find it's global. With the internet, people are calling from or honing in from anywhere. Also, if you take a moment, I want you to do me a favor and click on the like on this YouTube channel, and that way you can opt in. You can be a part of this, and we can then send you information updates for other webinars just like this. You don't have to wait for the email. It'll just pop up on your account. You'll know when we're going live and be a part of it. So I'm going to give people about 1 more minute to join us, and then we're going to get started here. For those of you who are just joining us, you're in the right place if you're here to see David Scott Peters and the restaurantexpert.com and us bring you a live YouTube event entitled How to Easily Set Par Levels. So make sure you take the time to do so. Do know if technology works properly. I've got this thing recording right now, I hope. If everything works well, I'm going to send you a replay of this so you're going to have all the information that you need. Again, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we'll get started here in about 2 seconds. Let me just double check something here. All right, we are good to go. So let's get started. Again, this is David Scott Peters with the restaurantexpert.com, and I've got to tell you, as I started off, I am thrilled you're on today's YouTube live event. I'm going to share with you a presentation called How to Easily Set Par Levels and Protect Your Cash Flow. Because ultimately, when you order too much product, it's at risk to be stolen, wasted, spoiled. You can lose money by ordering too much product. But if you don't order enough product and you 86 your top items, you got customers who aren't coming back. Well, if customers don't come back, you're losing money. It's lost opportunity. So we've got to make sure I get you everything you need to be able to set those par levels. And I'm going to talk about some of the other challenges that we have when it comes to ordering properly, giving up ordering process without giving up our checkbook, making sure it's not in one single person's head, worse yet, your head, that you're chained to your restaurant to be able to get that done. So, for those of you who don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about my background. I grew up in my family's restaurant and catering business back in Linwood, New Jersey, where I worked for the toughest manager I know. If anybody on this call has ever worked for your mom, you understand exactly what I mean. Now, I love my mom to death, but I hated working for her. Why? Because I was a teenager. And so she expected more from my sister and I than anybody else. She said there would be no favoritism. Now, what did that mean? It meant that, man, we couldn't veer anywhere. If I had somebody, let's say a server didn't tip me out as a busser, I'd like, Mom, they didn't tip me. She's like, suck it up, buttercup. Right? I hated that as a kid. But she actually did me a favor because every job I had after, I elevated quickly, like nobody else around, because I had a work ethic like nobody else around. So she did me a favor. Now, I took those skill sets, worked for a company called Coyote Springs Brewing Company and Cafe in the early 90s when brew pubs were opening one a week. Now we're seeing that trend today. We are seeing it again, but this is that original. This is when brew pubs were first hot, and man, it was unbelievable. Our first location was a cash cow, hand over fist money. Our second location was much like owning a boat. Those of you who own a boat on this webinar right now, you know what I'm talking about. A hole in water in which you throw money. Now, while one made all this money, the other one sucked it dry. And this is where I developed what I call my restaurant operational smart systems. These are restaurant systems that are simple, measurable, applicable, repeatable, trainable. And the key with any system, it has to be simple or nobody will use it. It has to be trainable, or how the hell do you get somebody to use it? Well, as I developed those, it was time for me to move on. I went to work for a company called Famous Sam's, a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain here in Arizona, as a franchisor. Well, the guys who bought the company wanted to take it public. I hired an operations team. We're opening 8 stores. We're going gangbusters. In under a year, they damn near bankrupted the company. Now, as upper management took off, I decided I didn't want to stay here. So I went and taught at Scottsdale Culinary Institute, Management, Human Resources, Wines, and Spirits. So my chef types on this call, on this webinar, on this live YouTube event. Hey man, I don't know how to cook. I'm horrible in the kitchen. Like, you don't want to see my knife skills. I take an onion, I thwack it with a chef knife, and I throw away that thick, usable layer. I'm lazy. I have zero knife skills. I cannot saute. But let me be very clear. If you have the right systems in place, I can run any of your kitchens. I can order based off par levels. I can order off of budgets. I can schedule based off staffing guides and budgets. I can open and close every station based on opening and closing side work. I can run a kitchen. What I can't do is cook. And do understand, a part of today's webinar, this YouTube live event, is to give you that control over your kitchen, that it's not based on a person in their mind, it's based on a system, a process, your way. And you cannot understand until we get through this how powerful and easy it's going to be for you. Well, while I was teaching at Scottsdale Culinary Institute, the minority shareholders at Famous Sam's, who are now the majority shareholders, said, David, come back, come back. I kept saying no, no, no. And then it was about 1 month before my first child was born. I said, okay. And I walked into a disaster. Company should have been bankrupt. Really done. Just done. Well, I walk into this disaster, and I was told that I had 5 years, create a plan, 5 years, turn the company around and sell it. You know what? I missed that goal by 3 months. I know what it is to be an independent operator. I know what makes a chain successful. It's my job to give you the same systems and tools that chains use without losing your independence. We love our guests, we love our employees, but we are going to do what they do well, and that's make money. Did anybody on today's event, when you logged into your YouTube channel and want to participate on the chat, do me a favor, type in there, if any of you actually opened your restaurant on purpose to be a charity. Now it happens. I've got a couple in my system. They're called churches. You understand? We all went in this to make money. We're going to do what the chains do well. That's make money. But we are not going to lose the fact or face that we love our guests. We love our employees. We're still going to be the same owners. We're still in the same core values. We still care about hospitality. But nobody said you had to give up the money. And that's a part of what today is going to be about. We here at the restaurantexpert.com, we're now at this time 14 years in business. We're in year 15. And we've been helping independent restaurants that whole time through seminars, workshops, software, trainings, training materials, you name it, coaching, consulting. And what I'm about to share with you is some of the most powerful stuff we have. And I truly mean that. What are we going to cover? Well, we're going to talk about how to accurately take the importance of accurate inventories while tracking invoices is critical, how 15 to 20 minutes of work a day is really all you need to make this work. We're going to simplify your ordering process, and we're going to make sure we show you how quickly you can set up your par levels. So I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm going to walk you through the spreadsheet side of things, the data entry side of things, that if you weren't in our software, how you can get it done. But as a part of this, a part of the teaching part, I'm going to show you what those things that need to happen kind of in real world using our software as an example. So do know that we're going to go through 2 sections. And yes, while I'll be showing you our software, you don't have to have it, but you do have to understand the processes and the benefits of doing these things. So stick with me. If you have questions during this YouTube live event, do me a favor, type it in the question box. And either Greg Sauerbach or Jenny Brooks, if they've got a quick answer for you, they'll give it to you. If not, they're going to put it right here on my phone that I can then answer your questions at the end of the webinar. Because I'm going to be focused on you and what we've got in front of us. So let's get started. First of all, when we talk about product issues, why do I have to work on par levels? Why is it a challenge? Now let me do me a favor. I'm going to switch something here just to, well, actually we'll leave it on here. I was going to switch screens here. Couple things, product issues. Number one, ordering too much. Now we talked about this. If I order too much product, it can be stolen, wasted, spoiled. Too much product is not a good thing on your shelves. It kills your cash flow. You know, you run back to the kitchen and go, if you 86 another item, I swear to goodness, what does your chef, what does your kitchen manager do? Buy more. What does your bar manager do? Buy more. They take your hard-earned money out of the bank account and put it on your shelves to be at risk, to be stolen, wasted, spoiled. Oh, wait a second. It's also the cash. I can't go to the power company with a case of steaks and go, thud, we're even. I need my cash to pay my bills. So if I take too much of my cash out of my bank and put it on the shelves, while I still may have the asset, no waste, no theft, no spoilage, perfect world, which we don't live in, I still can't pay my bills. So it's really, really important that we control our cash. That's our inventory. The other is, man, there's nothing worse than running out of items. Like, who's the idiot placing the order? And then we get really worried and we start ordering more and more and more and more because we don't want to run out. Because somebody's doing this. They're walking into the cooler with a clipboard and they're looking at products and they're going, oh, I need some of that, just because their gut and their brain tells them. There's no science behind it. And how the hell do you teach somebody else how to just go, just know, intuition? How would you like to have a system that tells them exactly what they have to order? Now, what about the people issues? Well, maybe it's only you placing the order. Maybe you're an owner chef, and you're the only one. Nobody else can place an order in my damn restaurant because every time I give it up, they screw it up. So you're it. You're chained. You're a prisoner to your own damn business. That doesn't sound like any fun. Oh, you may have a toxic human being on your team. Bar manager, a chef, a kitchen manager. I mean, toxic, just negative, pushback, all these horrible things, yells at servers, just negative. And you're, man, I want to put a bullet in this SOB's head. But, oh, I can't put a bullet in their head. Who's going to order? I don't know the menu. I don't know how to order. I don't know when we need products, so on and so forth. Let's get rid of that challenge. Let's make sure that those people who work for us fit our company culture, that it's our system, our process, the way that we hand up. Now, what about, again, putting all this information? Let's say I don't have a toxic person. Let's say I love my chef. I love my bar manager, my kitchen manager. They're wonderful people. Hell, they're damn near family. They are family. Love them to death. But they're the only ones who can do it. It's right here in their head. They can't go on vacation without phoning in twice a week, 3, 4, 5 times a week if I'm fine dining and I'm ordering fresh product routinely. They've got to place the order while they're gone. Nobody else can do it because every time they give it up, it blows up. Do any of those challenges sound right to you? Do you suffer from any of those things? Because if you do, today we're changing it. Outright, easily, we're changing that for you. Now, first of all, let's talk about what this is going to do for you in great detail. I'm going to give you 6, 7 points on why we want to go through the process and do this work. Because I suck, I create work. This work has a huge payoff. So here we go. How do we make sure we're doing things right? One, when I have a system, a process, a way anybody can train to count. If I can teach somebody, how about I give you a system that if anybody can count what's on the shelves the right way, right? Count it by the eaches, by the pound, by the case, however you want it counted. If they can count product, you can place an order. How about managers stay within budget? That we don't take the money out of our bank at risk to be stolen, wasted, spoiled. Recognizing when there's theft, waste, spoilage, because when I have to keep ordering a little more product, and I notice from my sales mix reports I'm not selling more of that product, I can very well quickly, without any of those reports, say, I need to investigate. I'm a barbecue place, and I'm going through much more brisket. My sales aren't changing. I must have a problem. I can find it. How would you like to keep your guests coming back? Aren't we here to sell food, booze, Product, atmosphere, meaning create memories for people. The hospitality business, well, I'll create a negative memory if I run out of a product. How about we keep them coming back because every time they come in, they don't have to worry about it. Having a system and process way, we're going to protect your bank account, make sure your money's in there. We're going to make sure we can train anyone on your team to place an order. In fact, I can tell you that way back in the beginning, when we started teaching people how to do these par levels using a spreadsheet. I'm going to demonstrate that first. Before we get to the par levels being automatically created in our software, just by filling out this spreadsheet and counting and comparing against our automatic par levels the spreadsheet would create, my business partner, Chef Fred Langley, actually placed an order on a daily basis for a restaurant that was literally 2,000 miles away from our office. They would just do their counts on a daily basis. They'd fill them out, fax them to us. Yeah, I said fax. We would double check and we would tell them what their order is. We'd place the order from here in Phoenix because our member wasn't going to be around and they couldn't trust anybody on the team to do it. How the hell do we do that? We're not even in their business on a day-to-day because these systems are so foolproof, so amazing. You're going to want them. I promise you. That's why you're on here. And last but not least, stop being held hostage. When you have a system, a process, a way to doing things, especially ordering product based on automatic par levels, based on your history, your forecasts, how you operate your kitchen, it is amazing. I'm never dependent on a single person. I'm dependent on a system, a process, a way. It's trainable. That's what today is all about. Now, let's talk about some of the criteria that we've got to do, and I'm going to switch screens here. I'm going to go to all three. All right, so now you should hopefully have three screens. You get to see me, PowerPoint, and my screen. But let's pay attention to the PowerPoint first for right now. What's the first thing I want to do? First, I've got to get a descending case report. It also can be labeled a descending dollar report. A descending case report is what I sell the most of to what I sell the least of. So I buy more cases the more I buy. Now, there's also a report called the descending dollar report, which is what I spend the most money on to what I spend the least money on. Beautiful part about it is whether you have the descending dollar or descending case report, all you do is sort. It doesn't matter which one of those, they both have all the information I need for you to have. So let me show you an example. Let's do the spreadsheet version first. So on your screen right now, you're going to see a spreadsheet version that came from Cisco. And here's all my product. What I've got my product item name, I've got my packs and size, brand, description. What I really care about is product ID, the description, and quantity sold. How many of each of these did I buy as a purchase unit? So again, I can sort this any way I want. Some of you may not have a sales rep that works well for you, meaning they don't know they can get it to you electronically. This is what it would look like in a PDF format. Same process. Again, this is Cisco. Look very different, but they're the same company. This is a different report. That's all it means. And so you'll notice here are the number of cases, descending case from what I purchased the most of to the least. Now the key is that we're going to do this for a date range. In a perfect world, that's between inventories. But do know that I like to have at least 2, 3, 4, 6 months of purchasing. But the key with getting this descending case report or descending dollar and sorted is that we want to make sure it's for during a time period that we've had no change to the menu. I'm not talking about features or specials. I'm talking about the core menu that we put on the table on a day-to-day basis. If we change it every quarter, then I'm only going to have a quarter's worth of purchasing. I don't want to go 6 months, a year. I don't want 10 years worth of purchasing that every little thing I've ever purchased is on there. I want my purchasing history on what's relevant to me today. So that's important if you're taking notes. Next, as we go back to this PowerPoint, number 2, I need to gather any invoices or receipts from the really small vendors. Now here's the deal. If you work with a Cisco, a US Foods, a Benny Keith, a GFI, any one of the big distributors, they've got electronic invoicing, meaning they can send you a spreadsheet with all that information, just like that. But what about the fishmonger? What about the produce guy? What about the specialty meat person or cheese? You've got somebody who still shows up to your door with paper invoices that are handwritten. Well, here, let me show you what I've got here. I'm going to bring up a produce vendor. Now, what I'm showing you here is something that I created manually on a console. I've got a list of all the products, and these, by the way, I could barely read. I mean, it's really quickly handwritten. We made the vendor the name of the vendor itself, right? The brand, I should say. We know the price, not important for this exercise, but I like to keep track of it. How I purchased it by the pound or the 2 ounce each. And then I literally came in and I went to each one of the invoices that were handed, and I sit there and said, how many do I have here? And so we total up how many pounds, how many eaches, whatever it may be, came in. So you actually have to manually sit there, create a spreadsheet, and document everything you purchased and get the total for the same date range between those two inventories, or at least the same date range as the reports you get from your broadline distributors. That way we're comparing apples to apples. We want to put it all together in one area. So very important. Anything that you buy from a Costco, a Sam's Club, a Smart and Final, a small produce vendor, specialty vendor, if they hand it to you in a format that it cannot be just spreadsheeted over, then you've got to actually create your own spreadsheet so you can have that data. So that's really important to know as well. Number 3, gather your sales. So depending on how you're going about that, you may have something like this spreadsheet that I have, right? You're keeping track of all of your sales on a day-to-day basis. It's your DSRs. And ultimately, when we're all said and done, you're going to run a date range. Sorry, scrolling too fast here. You're going to run a date range for it, and we're going to know exactly what our sales were by category. Really important, because notice, I may have done $196,000 in this month, if I was just pulling up a month, in sales, gross sales, but I did $80,864 in food sales, $21,000 in liquor, and so on. We need to know total sales, but broken up by category, so I know that 41% of my sales is food. That way, when I'm forecasting, for every dollar that comes in, I know 41 cents goes to the kitchen. All right, really, really important. So this is a DSR, daily sales report, that you probably have a spreadsheet, your QuickBooks, something where you can gather your daily sales. We want to do it by category. And last but not least, you need to create a sales forecast for this to work. Now I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet I created called Sales Forecast Wizard. Sales Forecast Wizard is just a spreadsheet. You're going to see there's all these hidden columns that all these calculations happen. But what I do is this. Let me see, I'm going to go backwards here. First thing, let me go backwards. All we're going to do, sorry about that. All we're going to do when we come in here is we're going to type in whatever the date range is, and let's say it says 5/17, 5/01/17. And when I do so, it's going to populate a calendar. And then we're going to type in whatever the sales were. Then we come over here and we are going to type in the next one. I chose the 19 by accident. Here we go backwards. 18. Now, what it does is it creates that. So if I put in my sales here, let's just call it $5,000. And what's going to happen is, as I come in here with there was every Monday, it's going to eventually create all these numbers. Now, let me show you. Let me show you a live example. Give me 1 second here. Go to my desktop, training formula. Here we go. I'd rather show you with numbers, so I'm going to pull this up real quick. Now, let me make this a little larger. All right, hopefully all can see that. So watch this. I'm going to back into this. If I delete, and delete, here's kind of the process. I type in my date. It's going to show me my calendar. I'm then going to add in the sales, get that from my DSR based on a daily basis. I'm going to type in the date range for the new month, noticing Q right here. Now the calendar pops up. Then I'm going to type in my target sales right here in O, and I'm done. That's it. I've got this for a 13-period accounting cycle and a monthly accounting cycle. Either way, it knows if there's 5 Fridays, it averages out. So you need some way of forecasting your sales. You don't have to have my fancy spreadsheet. You can have your own way. You can do tea leaves, crush them, and guess. Either way, when we forecast sales, all it is an educated guess called a swag, a scientific wild-ass guess. The science is the history. We're still guessing. The beautiful part about this system is it'll correct itself as time goes on. We just have to be as close to whatever we think sales are going to be to our best of our ability. There's no easy way to get that done, with the exception of, again, this spreadsheet. All right, so now we've got all the right information. What are some of the things that we need to do? Let's kind of walk through. I'm going to leave this PowerPoint slide up in the corner where it's going to show you some of the equations I'm going to describe and some of the points I'm going to cover. So if you're taking notes from this point in time, I'm not going to have the PowerPoint move very much. We're going to go right into how we utilize all these numbers in what I call my par level worksheet. This is what we did for our members before the software took it over. And I'm going to tell you, what I'm about to give you can be extremely accurate. But as we move into the software, we're now going to put inventories in, and it's going to become even more accurate, like extremely accurate. But I'm telling you right now, anybody who wants to use this system after we're done in this webinar, you're going to see the power is amazing. We're going to free you up to do other things than worry about your order. So let's talk about some of the things we need. First of all, I'm going to switch over here to actual sales. I've got little tabs down below. My actual sales, what I want to do is grab a date range here for whatever my descending dollar or descending case report is for. In a perfect world, it's in between inventories. Now, with that said, I'm going to type in what those sales are. It's going to give me what my sales mix is and ultimately my gross sales during that time. What's really important for me, for the example I'm going to give you today, we're going to only focus on the food portion of automatic par levels. This works for bar. Works for liquor, wine, bottled beer, draft beer. It works for anything you purchase. But what I really need to know is that $204,000 in sales happened during this date range, this 3-month period of time for this small restaurant. Now, what I then do is I'm going to go to my sample vendor sheet. And on this is what I'm going to do. Remember the descending dollar or descending case report? I'm going to copy this information and paste it into these columns. What I really need is the product ID, the name of the product, the pack size of the product, and how many purchase units I purchased during that date range for the sales period. In this case, if I look at line 3 and highlight it, my lay flat bacon, they were 20-pound cases, or slabs I should say, and I bought 152 purchase units, 152 20-pound slabs of bacon during that time that I showed you the sales forecast, or I'm sorry, the actual sales for. So what happens? Here's one of the first key calculations. If I look at this purchase units used, and I come over here to my column G is my usage ratio, what that is what? Number of units purchased divided into total sales by category. In this case, $204,000. So going back to that, I'm going to take 152 divided into $240,000, and if I come back here and hit F2, you'll see the equation right here at the top, sum F3 divided by actual sales B4. So it locks in right on that. What does that mean? It means for every food dollar that came in during that time period, and we purchased all this bacon during that time period, it says for every food dollar came in, you used, in this case, I'll highlight 3, come over to column G, you used 0.000742325 purchase units worth of bacon. What the hell does that mean? Well, for every dollar comes in, I used that much bacon. Now, I didn't use bacon every dollar it came in, right? They might buy lobster tail that had no bacon. They might have bought a steak that had no bacon. They might have bought a sandwich that had no bacon, but they might have bought a burger that had bacon, a chicken sandwich that had bacon, a breakfast that had bacon. Not all of them have bacon, but during that time, we purchased 152 purchase units, 20 pounds each, and we did the $200,000 in sales. How is that useful? Well, notice in column H, that's me calculating my par level. What is that calculation? Well, that calculation, if I had F2, we'll show you right here, is the sum of G, which is the usage ratio, right? We just said for every dollar comes in, you use 0.0007 worth purchase units of bacon. Well, it then multiplies that by sales forecast. Where are my sales forecasts? I come here to my forecasted sales. And what's important for us to do is I want you to notice down here in rows 12 through 15. If you have a Monday for Tuesday delivery, a Thursday for Friday delivery, right? We order on Monday for Tuesday, it comes in the product. We order on Thursday, it comes in on Friday. We're going to notice that you have to calculate your pars or grab your forecasted sales or delivery day to delivery day. So in this case, if I were to look at a Monday order day, Tuesday delivery day, and my next delivery day is Friday, you need to grab your forecasted sales for Tuesday through Friday, or in this case, 4 days worth of sales. So I'm going into 4 days in sales. Why do we do order day to order day, not order day, delivery day to delivery day, not order day to the next delivery or the next order day? Well, the reason being is we want to make sure we have that 1 day more worth of food being ordered. Because what if your delivery comes in late in the afternoon because of weather? Right? It's out of your broadline distributor's hand. I just came from New Orleans, where I spoke at the Louisiana Restaurant Association convention this weekend, and 6 inches of rain fell in 3 hours. The streets were flooded. There were places cars couldn't get to, trucks couldn't get to. That means outside of any distributor there, product was not getting to the end user. Wasn't their fault. So you need to make sure you have food on your shelves to survive that day until you get your food at the end of the day. So we're going to go from delivery day to delivery day. That gives you the extra day to make sure that you can handle whatever happens that day. If we were looking at a Thursday, Friday, again, Friday being the delivery day, my next delivery day, and actually let me do this. I have an error in here because I made a change. So let me unlock this. Unlock this, hold on a second. And here we go. I'm going to come in here and change this to delivery day of Tuesday. Important detail. Sorry about my phone. Didn't put it on Do Not Disturb. This is live, but here we go. Look at this. What I'm going to make sure is that I have enough delivery days, meaning have the days from delivery to delivery day. So when you grab your forecasted sales, that's really important. In this case, this is for the 4-day cycle, and that's the Monday order day, Tuesday delivery day. Now, when I come back to this and I say my forecasted sales, in this case, row 4, hit Do Not Disturb. There we go. That won't happen again. In row 4, column B, I'm expecting to do $15,000 in forecasted food sales. Well, let me go back to the sample vendor. I come here, and this equation says multiply my usage, 0.00742325, times $15,000 forecasted sales. It says that I will need to have 11.33 purchase units on hand. We must sell a crap ton of bacon in this restaurant, right? It's just a product. Now, with that said, 11 purchase units. That means, in this case, I would need 200 pounds of bacon. We must be a bacon house, right? Know that we use garbage data. We just put it in here. Replace that for tenderloins. Change that to cases of chicken. Doesn't matter. Okay? You understand the math. That's what's important. So I'm going to tell you, in the old days, I would tell you I would have rounded that down to 11 purchase units. I'm going to leave it at 11.33. And the reason being is sometimes we may get to a par level like here, row 6.3. That if I'm a chef or kitchen manager and I see 0.25 or 0.2 on the shelves, I still might not order it. You know, I know I'm going into a slow week. I can get by without ordering it. That way you give the flexibility to understand that it's not I need a full case or a full purchase unit, whatever it is. I just need a little bit. So some of that intuition still comes into play. But all of a sudden you look at this, I'm done, man. I have all my par levels. And all I do is I come back into my forecasted sales, and if I were to change this date range for the 6-day period from delivery day to delivery day, recalculate the pars to where I come to this sample vendor, this page 2, I could literally say, here are my first delivery day par levels, here's my second delivery day par levels. As I scroll down, I've got them for every product, no matter what. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, you get the idea. Well, how can I put this in place that in real life I can make it all work? Well, there's a couple things that we really need to pay attention to as well. And that's this. I want to go back to my sample vendor here. And this is very important. This is one of those tips you cannot forget about. Let's say this corned beef brisket, this line item that I just highlighted, let's say I buy it from 3 different vendors. Why do I buy it from 3 different vendors? It's sometimes to take advantage of pricing, but if you were to work with me, I want you to have a prime vendor agreement, stick to that one vendor whenever possible, but sometimes you get shorted. Sometimes they can't keep up with your demand. Sometimes there's a what if sometimes. So you've got 2 other vendors you buy it from as your backup. Well, what if during the 3-month period of time you bought the majority of your stuff from this vendor and you sometimes bought from here and rarely bought from this other vendor? Well, if I just use this spreadsheet the way we're talking about, you're going to have 3 different par levels, and that's going to be impossible for you, right? You got to be searching through 3 different vendors to find, because when we do this it really makes it easy for me to look at each vendor because I order one vendor at a time. So what you need to do is make sure you add up all those purchase units and put it into one single vendor. So let's say I buy from Cisco, US Foods, Benny Keith, and Cisco's my broadline distributor that I have my agreement with, and that's who I buy my corned beef from, but I bought it from US Foods, bought it from Benny Keith. Well, I've got to take all those purchases from these other 2 and add those cases into the one. That way it calculates accurately. Again, I hope you're taking notes. If you got questions, make sure you type it in the comment box here in the YouTube live event. Either Greg or Jenny will answer it for you or give me it to answer later at the end of the call. But do know, I'm going to show you how this is automatically done for you in a second. But make sure you've got all that stuff mapped out. Understand, like products have to be combined. That's very, very important. If you do all this, I just gave you the magic. The magic is, no matter who counts, anyone can place an order. Because do you know what this is based off of? It's not based on an ideal kitchen. Look, if your menu says you should be putting 6 ounces of French fries on a plate, 6 ounces. But your cooks have put 8 ounces, handful, 8 ounces every single plate. Well, this has nothing to do what your ideal food cost should be. It's what you actually used. And if you use 2 ounces extra of French fries all the time, this calculation will make sure you buy enough French fries that you can put 8 ounces on a plate. There's a whole nother set of systems to look at ideal versus actual usage. This is huge. I just gave you the ability that if your chef walked off the job today, if you could gather this information, pop it into a spreadsheet, you know exactly what to order. No longer does somebody hold you over a barrel because it's all right here. No longer do you have to wonder if somebody's gut intuition works and you run out of product, don't run out of product. Based on what you actually sell, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to order right here. This is huge. Now let me show you how we put this all together. Because in a perfect world, when we come down here, I'm going to highlight row 19. For greater accuracy, we're going to add one more piece to this, and that's a beginning inventory plus purchases and add the ending inventory. That way, our ideal usage isn't based off the purchases, it's based on usage. Cost of goods sold is beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use. How much product did actually left the shelves, not what I purchased. Because the flaw in this spreadsheet is, what if I bought a ton of let's say, specialty prosciutto, and I bought it in this time frame, and I only did it for a month, but it's supposed to last me a lot longer than that, because say it's a frozen product. I know it's not, but let's just pretend it's going to sit on my shelves for a long time. Well, all of a sudden, I'm going to have this huge par level for this prosciutto because I bought it and it's going to be sitting there, right? It's not going to work. So what I need is beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending to see that it's still on the shelves. How much of that prosciutto actually left the shelves is critical. Because now when we do this usage ratio, it's not off of purchase units, it's about what left the shelves. It is so damn accurate. It takes this spreadsheet, which we used with our members for years, dialing in on their par levels, helping them when they needed help, making sure they didn't have a chef hold them over a barrel, a bar manager, and so on. Now we go one step further and we make it incredibly powerful. Now let me see here what my next slide is, just for grins. Now here, let's put this all together. I'm going to switch out of these spreadsheets and I'm going to go into Smart Systems Pro. So bear with me real quick. I had an awful lot of stuff open. Here we go. Now I'm going to log into Smart Systems Pro. I'm just going to show you what little things need to happen, because now I've told you you've got to be tracking invoices, you've got to have sales forecasts, you can be tracking your sales. Oh man, I need inventories now and so on. What is the process I go through? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a little checklist here in the other window. So now in the PowerPoint box, you're going to see a little checklist. Let me log into Smart Systems Pro. It's our online restaurant management solution, handles every aspect of your business, gives you control, the power of profitability at your fingertips, control your prime cost. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to go through the step-by-step how automatic par levels in our software make creating orders a breeze. Because if your managers do their work on a daily basis, no matter who works for you at any single time, you have all this data automatically that you literally have to run one quick report, and this will take you literally 2 minutes max to calculate your par levels and adjust them at any single time. This is earth-shattering in the sense that it's just amazing. I mean, I get so excited about it, and I'm telling you right now, I'm at odds because I'm literally teaching you some of our best stuff that you don't find anywhere. I don't know any other software that does this, and after this webinar, unfortunately, I know I've got a couple competitors sitting here. They could be doing it too, so just remember who shared it with you, right? So let's start off. We start off with our sales. We need to know our sales forecast. Well, here I go to my daily paperwork. I go to my sales forecast, and by the 15th or 20th this month, I put in what my expected forecasts are and my sales mix just once. It copies its way down. So remember the sales forecast wizard? Just type in the data here. Next, I've got to know the sales mix, like I said. I've got that. I can get that from my end of day report. Next, I need to track my sales on a daily basis. I showed you what we called our monthly totals spreadsheet, but in this case, on a daily basis, right? I'm talking 5 minutes every single night. Your manager's going to take their DSR, their daily sales report, and type in what their sales were by category. I don't care about the cash balancing for this. Right now, I just need the sales. And when I ultimately have that done, then I can run a date range. Notice this. Let's kind of go backwards on this. If I wanted to know what my sales were for a 3-month period of time, if you will, let me just do May through July, and I click load. Well, I'm going to give it a second to catch up with itself. Scroll down to the bottom. Scroll over to my categories, and here I know my totals. So for that report, oh, guess what? Sales forecast. I want to know from delivery day to delivery day. I can simply run. Now you're not going to have to do this, but if I had a delivery day of Friday, and it's got to get me to my next delivery day of the, here we go, 4th through the Tuesday. Here's my sales forecast. I've got all that information. Done. What's next? We've got to make sure you've got all of your products in the system. So from any of your vendors, they give you an Excel spreadsheet of all the products you purchase from them. In this case, we're just going to go to Cisco. And here are all the products. And what I've got to do is I've got to make sure that each product that comes in, that I've say what the product is, the brand, how we buy it, product ID, how it comes in, and so on. That's easy enough. Literally takes a minute, not even, to set up your products. Once they're in, they're done forever. Now, why is that important? Because eventually, we're going to come back down here, and we're going to create par levels for our Thursday, in this case, Thursday order that we're going to set up. So I've got to have all my products in there. That's simple enough. Any new products come in, our software will recognize very quickly. But here's something that's really important about the products. I'm going to go back to the products, go back to Cisco. Remember I told you need to group your products. They need to be all set up. Notice here these two bacons, they are grouped. So I'm going to click on product groups. And what you can do is set up any products you buy from multiple vendors. So in this case, I click on my bacon. I actually buy bacon for some strange reason. We demo this product all the time from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different products. And what this does is the system says no matter who I buy it from, whatever my default vendor is for the product, it's all one product. Even if they're different purchase units. Meaning I buy bacon by the 15-pound slab from one vendor, 20-pound slab, it will convert the 15 up to the 20 or the 20 down to the 15 in purchase units so that we can have like numbers. You don't have to worry about that. So we map all those products out so we don't have multiple par levels, because as far as we're concerned, bacon is bacon. It's not bacon from 3 different, or in this case, 6 different products. Now, what else? On a daily basis when my orders come in, okay? Let me describe the fastest ordering process we have. Let's say you order from Cisco, US Foods, Benny Keith, any of the broadline distributors. You can actually order in their online system, export it as a spreadsheet, import it into our software, and all your purchase order is put together for you, and you can see if it's on budget. Then when Cisco sends you, or US Foods, Benny Keith, whoever you order from, GFI, they send you the invoice via spreadsheet. You upload it, and it will show you what I'm about to show you manually, how much you ordered, what you actually purchased, if you got shorted a case or so on. You were supposed to get it at $2.10 a pound, came in $2.12 a pound. It'll show you the price variance, but more importantly, it will then take all that information, not only create your invoice log, but it's going to put all that order history into a bucket called into a database. So when we want to run our purchase report, we have all that data there. So I'm just going to click on the spyglass. I'm not going to go through the whole process. Just know I described it. This is not a sales webinar. This is really to teach. But notice here, as I come down here, here's everything that I'm going to order. I'm going to click on this manual price compare. Again, this would be automatic if I had spreadsheets that I import into our system from any vendor that can create that. Now we're going to give the software just a second to catch up. There's a lot of data that's coming in here. Now, what do we have here? Well, here are what I thought, $44 per case for the ultimate potato wedges. Here's my invoice price. I could change it. Notice that goes live. If I had a pricing variance, it would show up here automatically. If I ordered 1 and 0 came in, I could change the quantity. If I ordered 4, 3 came in, I could. And when all said and done, I let her go line by line and see the differences. Now, the positive is, with our broadline distributors, it's done automatically. For our other vendors, we're just going to look and we're going to make the changes manually. But when I click an update invoice, it's going to take all of these items that I've purchased and store it in a database. Why is that important? Well, let me show you that. I go to my purchase report. Now I'm going to run it for a week so it fits on the screen easily. And so in this case, 8/1 to 8/8, notice here are all the invoices that came in on my order days and how many I ordered of each. And ultimately, this column here, purchased, is already totaled up. So I have all the purchasing power for every vendor, any product I purchase, automatically put into Smart Systems Pro. Then I go out there and I take an inventory. Well, we're going to get you to take inventories on a weekly basis. I know that sounds shocking. To many of us, it takes 3-4 hours to do inventory. We have $5-6 million restaurants taking inventory every Sunday in under an hour because we set up a shelf-to-sheet system. Count the product the way you see it on the shelves, the way you want it counted. No changes. But ultimately, all I'm going to do is shelf the sheet. Once I have all that information in here, notice I have my counts. So I have a beginning inventory and an ending inventory. I'm not caring about value for cost of goods sold for this purpose, but how many items do I still have on the shelf? And it'll convert. If you counted it as a usage unit, it'll gross it back up to what percent of a case it is. If a case is it. If you had it by bags, let's say it was McCain's potato wedges, 6 5-pound bags, and I count 2 bags, it's going to convert it to whatever 0.3, 0.25, whatever it is of a case. I'm sure that math is wrong. And if I count it by the case, I count half a case, it's going to calculate again by the case. It brings everything back to the purchase unit. Now, if I've got my beginning inventory, ending inventory, and my purchases, look what happens. I'm going to go to something called my usage report. I'm going to again bring this up for just a week so that we can see everything, but I want you to imagine if I have 3 months worth of purchasing, it would all be here. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to go from the 23rd of July to the 30th of July. Let me open this up a little bit. Notice what I have. I've got my beginning inventory plus ending inventory. I didn't purchase any, so I didn't use any. But if I go to this product right here, my artichokes, I had on hand 3.67 purchase unit of 6/3 kilograms. That's right. So we know that it's 18 kilograms. I had 3.6. I purchased 4. Well, I started with 3.6, ended with 4, beginning inventory plus purchases that I had 7.6 I could sell, ended with 3.6, amazing, right? It's garbage data, but you get the idea. It means 4 purchase units or 6/3 kilograms or 18 kilograms worth of this artichoke hearts have been used. So now imagine this is automatically calculated for you for the 3-month period of time, for the 6-month period of time, for a year, whatever it is, all your data is there. Here is the magic. Watch this. This is the payoff. I'm going to show you automatic par levels and how you then use it. I'm going to click on automatic par levels in our software. All that data is there. So let's say I will start with my forecasted sales. I showed you that in Spreadsheet, showed you it in the software. But now, as long as I've done my 15 minutes of work a day in daily paperwork, getting my invoices in on a daily basis, my end of night numbers in. If once a month I put in my sales forecast, spend 15 minutes to do that. If I do these things, look what happens. I'm going to run a report. I want all of from inventory to inventory from May 7th, all of my sales to July 30th. Now for forecasted, I want to go from delivery day to delivery day. I order on Monday for Tuesday delivery. My next order day is Thursday for Friday delivery. So I'm going to go from Tuesday delivery to Friday delivery. So in this case, I'm going to sit there and say my delivery day is the 8th, that Tuesday, August 8th, and I'm going to go to my delivery day of the 11th, not my order day of 10th, delivery day of the 11th. Why? So that if that delivery shows up late, I still have product on my shelves. I'm going to do this for food only, and I'm going to do this for Cisco, just to be consistent. Now watch. I'm going to click load. What's happening? It's gathering my forecasted sales. It's gathering all my purchases. No, it's gathering my usage. Use divided by sales tells me exactly what my ratio is. Takes the ratio times forecasted sales and tells me what my par levels are. In automatically, here are my par levels. 0.9, 1.8, 6.4, 5. They could be 5, they could be 10, doesn't matter. This is what I need on the shelves. Again, we leave it as a decimal. That way, if for instance, 0.64 is my number, if I've got half a case or half a purchase unit, in this case, I have 5 pounds on the shelves, I might chance it. I might know what I need. Or if I know I'm going to a busy weekend, I can order more. Now, how do I get this into my products? Watch this. You're going to notice this update product par. I click on it. And in this case, remember I said from my Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday delivery to Friday delivery, that means in this case, it is a Monday order day. I'm going to click Save. What it's doing now is going back to the products, I'm going to show you this in a second, and putting in the par levels. Done. Well, using that same date range, so I can run this in a moment, I'm going to now go for my Friday delivery of the 11th, and I want to know what my sales are to get me to, or my forecasted sales, so I know that what I need for par levels to get me to that next delivery day, the 15th. Now again, once I do this, I'm going to click load. I don't have to update this every single week. I can let this go for 3 months. If I know my usage is about the same, summer months, my sales are about the same, I don't need to change it. But you can change it week to week if you want. I hit update product pars. In this case, it's a Thursday order day for Friday delivery. Click save. Give it a second. I'm done. That was it, man. Let me show you the product real quick. I'm going to go to my products. I'm almost done, and I'll be able to answer your questions. Got any questions? Type them in the question box. In order to do that, you need to make sure you log into your YouTube channel so that you have access to the YouTube live chat function. Now notice here, I'm going to double click on this lie flat bacon. Oops, not that product. We didn't order in that product. I got to make sure I use the right product. We didn't order any. Let me just open up anything here and see if it was the second bacon. I clicked on the wrong bacon, I think. Here we go. Yep. So if I had any usage, my par levels are going to be automatically entered in here. Okay? Now, how does that work out? Well, I don't care. They're just stored there temporarily as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to go to my orders. I'm going to place an order. Now watch what I do to place the order and how we simplify this process. I click on a plus symbol. I'm going to come in here. I can change this. Oh, I don't want to recover that. I was in the software a little earlier. All right, going to come here. I'm going to change this to Cisco. It's going to be an order. I'm going to place it. I'm going to have a Monday count for this for giggles. I'm also going to use my inventory I took on Sunday and automatically populate my counts. I'm going to make my delivery day as the Tuesday. I'm going to sort this now, filter it. We've got another way that Cisco would just come right up automatically, but I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to sort it shelf to sheet, so when I go in, if I'm doing the counts, and automatically if I had counted product, oops, sorry, forgot my inventory date. Let me choose my inventory date. Here we go. Now look, my on-hand counts are automatically populated. And if I've got a par level, my par level is 1.8. I counted 0.15 and it told me to order 1. I can edit that order. You know what? I don't need, just make that 0. I come down, I go through each of these products. It's automatically done. I took my inventory on a Sunday night, placed my order on Monday. Because I had automatic par levels, man, I didn't even have to go in and count again. But on a Thursday, we go count the products that have par levels. That's all we're going to be ordering from, shelf to sheet. Once I enter it into the system, it's automatically create an order for you to then change. But notice it already rounds itself up because it knows you can't order 0.25 of a case. When all said and done, I come down to the bottom. I click Save Next, and watch what I have here. Give me a second here. Let me close that. I'm using 3 monitors. It's not happy with me. Hold on one second. Come on. Here we go. Finally it shows up. All right, here we go. Here's my order. Here's everything I need. And if I was ordering from other vendors the same day, all of that's going to show up. And ultimately I come to the bottom and I can see that I'm going to stay on budget. I don't want to go through all that right now, but bottom line, I'm done. I've got everything I need all here. Purchase orders, how much money I'm spending, boom. Oh, by the way, if you're the one who normally places the order and you teach somebody to count, they put it in the system and you go edit the order. You approve the order. You don't have to count. All you got to do is log in and see. I'm going to tell you right now, this absolutely changes everything. It makes life so much easier and better for you. It is unbelievable. Now, let me do this. Do know the last piece you've got to do to make sure this is accurate is you do have to take the time to make sure your inventories are accurate. All right? All your invoices are in and so on, but your inventory, we can use this compare price or compare function, but what I like to do is I like to go back to my usage report and look at it from week to week. Because notice here, if I go back, we were in this report earlier, but I'm going to go from the 30th to the 6th. I'm going to load. And what I'm going to look for when I look at this usage all the way down this side here is I'm going to look for anything that might show up as a negative, meaning a product was ordered and inventoried differently. Ordered by one vendor, inventoried as another vendor, they weren't grouped. And I'm going to see that whether I had, started with a certain amount on the shelves, ended with a certain amount, and or I ordered with more than what I actually had, those are the negatives. And I just double check. And so with just a quick review, I can see I have no negatives. My management team did a great job. They made sure all of that was in place. Now, Let me switch screens here real quick. And here. Let me summarize this, and then I'm going to answer your questions. And I've got a list of a bunch of questions here I'm going to answer for you in just 1 second. Now, what did we cover? We talked about the importance of inventory, how 15 minutes of work on a daily basis takes care of things, the importance of tracking inventories, taking your inventories, how we make sure we adjust to seasonality. Oh, I forgot that one. Oh, just change your date range. Well, not really. Why? Because your sales forecast already takes care of that for you, unless you have a different menu. Give me 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about what we do, and then I'm going to answer your questions. Do know we're a restaurant training and coach company. The software I demonstrated to you is only one piece of it, but it is a major piece. It's called Smart Systems Pro. Handles every aspect of your business, from daily manager log to cash controls, online scheduling system to labor controls, including an app. Food, beverage, merchandise, recipe cards, ordering, inventory, prep, key item reports, waste sheets, weekly budget variance report. Holy crap, it handles everything in your business. It's in the cloud. Put your numbers in once, tie all of your systems together, hold your management team accountable. But as a restaurant training and coaching company, we're here to help you. We're not a software company, which means you have free, unlimited technical support, training support, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whether in a chat window or call us. You also have free software trainings, 2-day trainings here at our office in Phoenix, Arizona, free of charge. We've got a 100-seat training center. Come in, bring as many people as you want. We know your investment is to get here, but we're going to teach you. You also have access to me or one of my coaches 1 hour a month. We're going to write your budget for you with you, re-engineer your menu, save you money, teach your manager cost of goods sold, you name it, talk you off a ledge. Imagine having a trainer, right? I used to be an athlete. I used to be fit. Now I'm a big dude. And I know exactly what to do, but I no longer had a coach telling me what to do. We want to be that coach. We want to be that someone you can call, that corporate office, you will, that you have support and help with. That's what we're here to do. I'm also going to tell you that we're not attorneys, accountants. If you've got an extra question, pick up the damn phone. We're going to answer the question for you. If you become a pain in my ass, I'll charge you more. You get all $8,000 of our training products, digitally downloadable included, from full service, quick service training, management training programs, employee handbooks, harassment prevention, train the trainer, and more. You also have the ability to attend our 3-day workshop for $375 instead of $1,500 for you and a guest. We have 4 one-day seminars you attend here free of charge, you and a guest, twice a year. But I'm telling you right now, if I got extra seats you ask, you can come, no problem if you want to come more often. You get live webinars on a monthly basis. For the software, it's on a weekly basis. We're a restaurant training and coaching company. It's not whether you can use the software, although that's critical. It's more about how you interpret your data and make change in your business, how you proactively manage your business. Heck, one of the other pieces of software you get is our Budget Creator Pro, where we write your budget online for you, tie it back to your system, and we can measure. That which we measure improves. Last but not least, I want to make sure we understand there's no sign-up fee, there's no setup fee, it is month to month. You can call me up, break up with me like we're dating in high school, say, David, it's me, it's not you. I don't give a rat's ass. We suck, we create work. But the work we create, once the heavy lifting's done, it's amazing. It's amazing how you can run your business having people follow a system, a process, a way. You lead it without having to be the person who does it. And when people move on, it's still there. But as a bonus, one thing that we say, if you've taken the time to be on our webinar, we want to give you a bonus. And that is this. It's an $800 a month value. We're going to meet with you and your management team on a weekly basis for the first 6 months. We are literally going to spoon feed you step by step. We're going to have timelines to say, don't worry about recipe cards, just do this. And by next call, do this. By next call, do this. We're going to make sure that within a 6-month period of time, if you're motivated, you're going to be completely set up and ready to go. And I'm going to tell you, it is a 6-month to a year journey. There's a lot to do. But the beautiful part, as soon as you start to see results. In fact, we're only $347 a month. No sign-up fee, no setup fee, month to month. Again, give me 30 days notice, you're out. So the max you're in is 60 days. And you can download all $8,000 of our training products. They're yours. But here's the deal. If we don't make you at least 10 times return on your investment, you are not using the damn software, because we're going to take you from a 65% prime cost to 55 or lower. And on $1 million a year business, that 10-point swing going from industry average to the 55 we say is possible for you, that's $100,000 in bottom line profitability. No get rich scheme. We suck. We create work, but it's amazing. Just like the automatic par levels that we showed you today, that's only one small feature to help you proactively manage your business. Now, I'm going to answer the questions you guys have. If those of you haven't asked a question yet, do me a favor, type it in the YouTube live event chat. If you can't chat, it means you haven't logged into your YouTube channel. You need to log into your YouTube channel so you can use that. So let me go through some of the questions here. First one for Michael Myers. What if the general manager had been over ordering? Will this make your pars higher than they should be? So the answer is yes and no. If you are using just the purchasing, so the spreadsheet I showed you we used in the beginning, okay, just purchasing divided by your sales, yes, your par levels will be slightly higher. But if you're using our software and we take inventories into account, it's only what left the shelves. You're just going to show you have too much product on your shelves. So it's not. So if you do it by spreadsheet, in order to get rid of that flaw, you start with the beginning inventory plus your purchases minus ending to calculate what purchase units actually left the shelves, and you're going to wipe that out. Next question, writer Ryan Peterson. What is the thought process behind sticking to only one main supplier and a vendor agreement? Well, here's the thought process. When I started in this business, I actually created a spreadsheet, and that broadline distributors call spreadsheeting, I call cherry picking. And I would get my bids from 3-4 vendors, put them all in there, shake it all up, send, this is how old I am, I would PC anywhere into each of their locations' computers and drop a file, an Excel file. And all they could do is order product based on a product ID number, and it would kick out the purchase orders for each of the different vendors, and we bought the cheapest product in each one. There's two major flaws with that. Number one, I was a full-time operations manager, and that consumed a good 20 hours to 30 hours of my week, gathering data, entering the data, sorting the data, putting it in, so on and so forth. We don't have that time. The second is, it's bullshit. I'd spend all this time paying attention to all of my proteins, and I was getting screwed on janitorial paper supplies. You've got to make sure that it's apples to apples. One vendor may have a trash bag that's X pennies cheaper, but it's a single ply versus the 2-ply that you've been buying. It's not worth the time. And oh, by the way, if you promise a broadline distributor 80, 85, 90, 95% of your purchasing, depending on what they're looking for, you will save 3 to 5 points to your bottom line buying the same products you've been buying. See, they're transportation companies. They want to make sure every drop that happens, they've got enough money on the truck that they make in delivery. They're shipping companies. And so if they can guarantee more products coming through, they'll give you better pricing. So you still have 10%, if you will, to go buy your paper supplies from somebody else, your produce from somebody else, your prosciutto from a specialty vendor. But it's really, really important today. I'm telling you right now, I would never cherry pick. It is not worth the time, not worth the effort. Find a broadline distributor, work with them. Let's see here. I've got another question from Mr. Myers. Will the presentation and spreadsheet be available for those who don't currently have the software you mentioned? Well, be quite honest with you, Michael, it wasn't my plan. You know, if you want to talk to Greg Sauerback and work him and see if he's willing to do it, numbers on the screen, 1-877-457-6278 at extension 106. I'm going to tell you this. If you want that spreadsheet and we're not right for you, tell us. Meaning, give us 15 minutes of your time that we can learn about you and your business, tell you what we do, see if there's a possible fit. If at the end of that call you say this is not right for me, I'm gonna let Greg send you that spreadsheet. Sound fair? And that's to anybody on this webinar. Let them know you're on this webinar, you saw the whole damn thing, and give them 15 minutes of your time. If after that 15 minutes you say, we don't want to learn more about what you do, we'll send you the spreadsheet. Sound fair? God, I'm in a giving mood. And if you're a consultant, don't ask. Really, don't ask. Build your own damn one. Anyway, not that I don't like other consultants. With that said, here we go. Holly Cunningham. We are caterers, so our menu/events change all the time. There is no common selling week. Not sure how this would work for a caterer. Well, let's kind of go backwards on that. For the most part, there will be a number of products. You're absolutely right. If you brought in strawberry jam for a party that you did 3 months ago and you haven't ordered again, your par level is going to be almost nothing and it doesn't affect you. However, where it does work for you is we have a tendency when we sell events, let's say if there was a chicken, fish, and beef, you know the percentage of those proteins that get selected by a guest because you make them that way. You know everybody's not going to get beef, you're going to have more chicken, whatever it may be. So for your large purchased products, your main ingredients, this will work great because it will go off of sales in your parties, and it generally knows because you're selling it damn near the same percentage of those items in each party. So it's got good points and bad points. There are going to be certain products, like specialty products, this will not work for you. But do know that it's only a guide. But at least it's a great guide to make you know what your sales are. It's going to predict how much chicken, beef, so on and so forth of that product you would use. So it ain't going to be perfect, but it's still going to be really powerful and useful. Let me see if we have any other questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this point. I'm going to give it 2 more seconds here. All right, that's it. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to be on today's webinar, this YouTube live event. Yeah, I made mistakes, things like that. That's what being live's all about. Do know that we're here to help. While I had no plans on offering the spreadsheet, thank Mr. Myers, you call Greg Sauerbach toll free at 1-877-457-6278 at extension 106. You give him 15 minutes of your time. If we're not right for you, I'll have him send you the damn spreadsheet. And I'm dead serious. If you're a consultant, please don't rip my stuff off. I gave you the calculations. You can make it yourself. I do realize that it is my risk to present this to the world and understand there are people and software companies, things that we're about to be able to duplicate what we do. But I care more about you getting results. Whether we're the right software and coaching company for you, that doesn't matter. We're not right for everybody. I just like to think we are. I still want you to gain benefit because our job, our core value is to help the independent restaurant. And I'm giving you something that is so damn powerful, it is unbelievable. You will never be held over a barrel again because a chef or bar manager says, I'm leaving, and you won't know how to order. You'll never again have too much product on the shelves. You'll never again not have enough product on the shelves unless some freaky thing happens, a busload of people show up and you buy the product. But you are set because you have data from the past 3-6 months. So man, it's like clockwork. You will reduce your waste, theft, spoilage, which means by following par levels, you will reduce your food cost, your pour cost, because we aren't having those problems. This is unbelievable. In fact, it is so unbelievable, I may not leave this public on YouTube channel, my YouTube channel after this for very long. I don't know. We'll see if I'm in a giving mood. But I want to thank everybody for being on today's YouTube live event, and I hope you'll give Greg a call toll free at 1-877-457-6278 extension 106, or go look at us. You don't want to tap us in the I don't want salespeople to call. We're solutions people. We're not salespeople. If you're not right for us, we're done, man. But go onto our website, therestaurantexpert.com, and learn more about us. But I hope if you need help and you want this automated, you'll think of us first. Thanks, everybody. Until next YouTube live event, go out there, have a blast, make money, get your life back. Thanks, man.